this is the result. Venus Sun keeps gaining more revenues. No issue. Okay. So you need to have your software strategy. Okay. Now, are we moving into a world of more software or not? So that's one big question here. I'm going to give you one answer first. The Raptor, the F-22 Raptor, is the most advanced, most feared fighter plane that we have in our arsenal. Okay? Very intelligent. Okay? So as a very rough measure of intelligence and complexity, that thing is 2 million lines of code. Okay, that's not a very good measure, but it's as a proxy. You see, this is so rough that it's good enough. 2 million lines of code. The next one, what do you think is the next one?
The Chevy Volt.
Chevy Volt. Oh, very good. Okay, the Chevy Volt, 10 million lines of code. Okay, 5 times more. Next is this one. So the Dreamliner came out as the most electronic airplane ever, passenger airplane ever, right? And it is actually 8 million lines of code to fly, and that's how it came out. And then eventually more code is added to have entertainment as you fly, okay? And entertainment added another 6 million lines of code, okay? So don't you be, if you are in the software business, you'll be very busy programming entertainment. Yeah, now, what's next? The Mac. No, actually it's the Android. It's not that bad. Okay. The phone, your phone, the Android phone is trumping. Next is Facebook. Facebook itself, 61 million lines of code. Then the Mac, and 82. But that's not all. So, well, this is not too surprising, right? Well, nowadays, a modern car, high-end, 100 million lines of code. These guys are the guys who don't have an army of programmers. The other guys do. Okay? These guys don't. And this is 100 million going up. I bet you anything, a high-end car today, this is 2015, probably is 120 million lines of code. And going up rapidly. We don't have autonomous driving yet. Today, you do have this automated parking, that sort of thing, right? We are adding more and more, a ton of software. Okay? Bosch, the German company providing to the German car industry, they are in India, big time. And actually, when I was in Vietnam, I learned that they are in Vietnam as well. Why? For the manpower to program all these lines of code. Now, let's compare this to the biggest software project ever before this era. Okay? The biggest ever before then was 40 million lines of code, and that was the Space Shuttle. At that time, when the Space Shuttle came out in the 70s, the technology used, they programmed on technologies of the 60s, 10 years before. Why? Because they have to freeze it, otherwise it will never be done, right? You know that, right? If you do waterfall, you know exactly what it means. The change management, if you do, otherwise it will be in the 90s before they ever launched the special. The point is this, nowadays, nobody will stand for that. You say, oh, okay, to turn that out, it will take 10 years. Nobody will pay you to do that. Okay? They will absolutely refuse. So you are seeing the glimpse of why we need to be agile. Okay, so this is the full curve. I actually had a printout. I forgot to print that to circulate, so you can see the whole map of everything. This guy did a great job, actually. You can look it online. It's free. A lot of known stuff in terms of how many million lines of code. So you can see. So the special is over here. Okay, and oh yeah, so the high-end high-end car. What's in the high-end car? You don't notice it. 150 ECUs, electronic control units. So that's basically a computer chip, basically, right? 150. A lot of wiring, you can imagine. So much so that they are now using optical fibers. Okay? Otherwise, they cannot manage it. Electronic buses, of course, just like in a large computer system. Thousands of mechanical parts, of course, because it's a car. Okay? And the green thing over there, can you guess what that is? The green thing that is more lines of code than anybody else.
Future.
I'm sorry?
The future.
The future, no, it's here now. You won't be surprised. That's Google. Okay. Now, I hope this this should drive home to you what kind of a company Google is and what they are striving for. They're striving for dominance in the new economy, clearly, by a very large margin. So, now, I'll give you an intelligence test. Okay, this is a so, what can computers do? So, of these people, who are a real person and who is a synthetic person created by computer graphics, right? Not created by a person using computer graphics, it's automatically generated. Somebody pressed a button and out came one of these pictures, right? So which one is real? So I'm going to start from the left-hand side. Is she real?
No.
No, she's not. Okay. Is the next person real?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
How about the next guy?
No.
No. So you guess it. None of them is real. They're all.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah. So now you know why our president keeps saying fake news, okay? Everything is fake. That's the takeaway. Everything is fake.
So maybe he's fake.
I'm sorry? That you have to ask his lawyer. Okay, so now that's going one direction. Going back the other direction, I actually, for the sake of time, I can do it afterwards. Okay. So this thing here. So this is to, how would I say, to show, to demonstrate. They create this. So you can tell, I mean, this is easy to tell, but, well, look, the second from the left and second from the top, if I cut that out and gave it to you, would you be able to tell? Is that a muffin or is that a dog or a chihuahua, right? Now, so they did test between a human and a computer, which one is better at telling, which is which. And the computer beat humans today already, yeah. Easily, clearly, okay. In fact, I will show you, I have an app here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I have an app and I tested it. I actually have a bunch of stuff for you. Yeah, I tested it myself and it can tell. So, software allows you to do a lot to change the experience of your users' life. So it matters then that your company develops software well. Whatever industry you're in, automotive, whatever, okay, media. So, McKinsey did a survey and they found out they divided companies that did develop software well, companies that develop software not too well, and those in the middle, right? They divided it to 3. So in terms of productivity, how how much complexity, you know, million lines of code or whatever the measurement, how much complexity can you develop within a certain amount of time. So the higher performing companies are 3 times more performant than the lower ones. That means what? That means that whatever they develop at 1/3 of the cost, right? Roughly speaking. I'm not saying exactly, but roughly speaking. Now, in terms of throughput, how fast do they do it? So this is 4 times. The high-performing ones are doing it 4 times faster. And also, quality-wise, is 5 times less residual defects in the product. So this, what are you saying here? You're saying that the high-performing companies can develop their products cheaper, faster, with higher quality. How do you compete? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's extremely important to be very good at it, whatever field you're in. So, why? So I'm going to step into now the kind of things that you guys, a lot of you guys know already, right? You've been practicing this sort of things. How come? Why? Because the old-fashioned assumptions about software development is that the user, the clients, the users know exactly what they need, and the programmers and developers know exactly how they're going to develop it, and they just go on and just do it, right? Just get on with it. Well, that's not really true, right? And this is, you've seen this many, many times, why this is not true. So, Agile rose up in popularity because it actually took away those wrong assumptions and faced them head on. Okay? Some thoughts about that. You have a great idea. Your plan is, you have a great idea, you're just gonna implement, you're gonna work on it, implement, and you come out with a product, and everybody is happy. Well, reality is a whole lot more torturous than that. If you've done a couple of these things, you will find out. It's a whole lot more complicated. And, a lot of hard burns along the way. More than that, worse than that, many products come out with 45% of the features developed never used, never even touched. That's how bad it is, okay? And 90% rarely touched. So it's bloated and the users are frustrated. So when requirements, so this is one thing that people who, if you've done Agile, you've seen a lot of this. So if the requirements are not clear or changing, that's one thing. That's the what you produce. And how you produce, the technology you use, change or you're not sure up front, then you're in a complex situation where Agile applies, right? Unless it's completely uncertain, then you're in anarchy and nothing helps you. Well, one thing you can do is perhaps try to get a subset that you can make a little bit less chaotic and manage. So Agile arose, Agile relied on one thing. It's on iterative incremental delivery of something useful so that you can get feedback continuously. So you can adapt continuously. The reason is this. So if you do everything all in one big sweep, then the risk accumulated along the way accumulates to be a very big risk. And your value is delivered only at the end. The idea of Agile being iterative and incremental is so that you can adapt a little chunk at a time. So your risk is much smaller, is minimized, and the value is delivered earlier. A little bit of it earlier. Okay? That's why Agile. And when your plan is a long plan, 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, you know, the space shuttle, 10 years. What happens is, if you do that, you will encounter disruptions along the way, and scope will change. You have mainly scope creep. People don't have the discipline to take things out of scope but they do add to it. So when you do in short increments, during that increment, there is no scope creep, there's no interruption, there's no change within that short increment. These are all the FYI, all the different agile approaches that have been used over the years, still now, actually, before the Agile Manifesto and even now. And as of today, so this is the 12th State of Agile report that comes out every April. So as of today, 56% of people doing Agile use Scrum. Okay? And as the other Scrum-like approaches, you have about 75% or something like that. And in terms of scaling up Scrum, as you know, Scrum is 3 to 9 developers in the team. Some people say once you hit 7 people, it starts to be very messy. You start to have more issues than benefits. But how do you develop very large-scale software or system? So Scale Agile is, people are digging into Scale Agile now, and the one that is getting a whole lot more traction is a framework called SAFe. And SAFe, so as of this year, coming out in April, 29% of those who scale Agile are using SAFe. So it's up from 28% last year, and 28% was 1% more than the year before. Previously, people do Scrum of Scrums, and that you can see that is dropping rapidly. And all the other approaches, like less and things that are very, very well